What's up, YouTube? Today we're bringing you the story of rising rapper Lil Kevo 069 and how his decision to release one song would spark a tragic chain of events. This story takes us deep into the streets of Chicago, where fame, gang violence, and a culture of disrespect collide in a deadly way. Let's get into it. It was July 5th, 2021, just a regular summer day in Chicago. But for one rapper, Lil Kevo 069, it would be the day that changed everything. Lil Kevo, born Kelvin Smith, was a member of the Brick Squad gang, a group rooted in Chicago's 69th Street area. That day, he released a music video for a track that quickly gained attention, not for its artistic merit, but for the dangerous lines it crossed. The song's sudden popularity wasn't due to radio play or a catchy beat. It went viral for one specific reason. Lil Kevo had chosen to taunt his enemies in the most provocative way possible. But before we dive into that, you need to understand the stakes. Brick Squad had long-standing beef with rival gangs, including the infamous O Block and OTF, a set led by mainstream rap sensation Lil Durk. Now, let's talk about Chicago's drill music scene. Drill is a genre that's known for its raw, unfiltered depictions of street life. For many rappers, it's about putting their street credibility on display, often by glorifying violence, disrespect, and death. Lil Kevo followed this playbook to the extreme when he released BDK Freestyle Part 2. BDK stands for Black Disciple Killer, a direct diss to his rivals, the Black Disciples, many of whom were linked to O Block. In Chicago's gang culture, dissing someone's dead friends or family is like crossing a line you can't come back from. Lil Kevo didn't just hint at disrespect, he went all in, taunting his rivals by naming their deceased affiliates in the song. He opened the track with a blatant insult to King Von, one of the most feared and respected figures in O Block, who had been killed not long before. Lil Kevo's line, "I'm smoking on Polo, I'm smoking on Von," was a direct slap in the face to anyone associated with Von. For those unfamiliar, smoking on someone in drill lingo is the ultimate disrespect. It means you're celebrating their death, but it didn't stop with King Von. Lil Kevo set his sights on another key figure tied to O Block and OTF, D-Thang, Lil Durk's blood brother. With cold-hearted lyrics, Lil Kevo mocked D-Thang's death, rapping, "D-Thang a B, that lil boy fast Durk is a goofy, get what back out in blood, your brother just got knelt, he going up in mud." The message was clear. Lil Kevo wasn't just dissing his enemies, he was out to humiliate them on a personal level. With these lyrics, Lil Kevo had ignited a firestorm. The song spread quickly, with his fans hyping it up while his rivals reacted in fury. Social media became a battleground. Lil Kevo's Instagram live session showcased him laughing and enjoying the buzz around the track, showing a man who seemed unconcerned about any retaliation. But beneath the surface, the tension was rising fast. People started spamming his comments with GDK, a term that stands for Gangster Disciple Killer, representing Lil Kevo's opposition. These weren't just empty words, they were warnings, signs that the street war was spilling online and gaining momentum. While Lil Kevo basked in the viral attention, his enemies weren't planning to just let this slide. It didn't take long for the fallout from Lil Kevo's song to become deadly. Just 8 days after the release of BDK Freestyle Part 2, on July 13th, 2021, the streets of Chicago claimed another life. Around 5:15 p.m., Lil Kevo was shot in broad daylight while standing in the 7000 block of South Normal Avenue. The shooter unleashed a hail of bullets, 16 rounds according to police reports, hitting Lil Kevo in the body and throat. The shooting was brutal, sending a clear message. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was a calculated hit, and some sources on Chicago's urban Reddit pages claimed Lil Kevo was shot over 100 times. Whether it was 16 or triple digits, the sheer aggression behind the attack suggests this was a personal act of revenge. At just 27 years old, Lil Kevo was pronounced dead at the University of Chicago Medical Center. The rapper who mocked the dead now joined them, becoming another name in the endless cycle of gang violence that plagues Chicago. In the aftermath of Lil Kevo's death, no arrests were made, leaving his murder unsolved. Just one more in a long string of gang-related homicides. But to many, it was obvious. This was retaliation for his song. The message in Chicago streets is clear. Disrespecting the dead can only lead to one outcome. For Lil Kevo's family and loved ones, the pain was unbearable. Outside the hospital, they wept and embraced each other, but their grief couldn't change the brutal reality. Lil Kevo had left behind not only a family in mourning, but also a child who would now grow up without a father. This story isn't unique to Lil Kevo. In fact, it eerily mirrors the fate of another rapper from his crew, Lil Jojo. Back in 2012, Lil Jojo released a song with a similar title, BDK, taunting his enemies in much the same way. Not long after, Jojo was gunned down in Chicago streets, making Lil Kevo's death feel like a tragic replay of events. Lil Kevo's story highlights the grim reality of gang life in Chicago. For those on the outside, it's hard to understand why anyone would risk their life for a song. But for those caught up in that world, disrespect and retaliation are part of the code. In drill culture, fame and violence are often intertwined, and the line between entertainment and real life becomes dangerously blurred. Lil Kevo's tragic end is a stark reminder that the cycle of violence continues to claim lives, leaving behind grief and devastation. In the end, his story poses the question, was it worth it? For those left behind, the answer is painfully clear. So that's the story of Lil Kevo 069, a young rapper whose viral moment turned into a deadly tragedy. It's a tale that reflects the harsh realities of Chicago's streets and the unforgiving nature of drill culture. Let's hope that his death serves as a wake-up call for others caught in the same cycle. If you found this video informative, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into these stories. Stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one.